Welcome to episode 2 of Pathways Through Art and Story in the Time of the Pandemic. And today's episode is called Mosaic. But before I get to that, I want to speak to my ancestors, my own personal history, and my Aunt Nell and my Aunt Carol. So, Nell Sinton and Carol Sinton were my aunts. Here is Carol, here is Nell, and this is my mother, Marjorie. Photo by Dorothea Lange in 1921, The Walter Girls, San Francisco. So, my Aunt Nell painted this picture here many years ago, probably in the 1940s, certainly 50s. And I have a couple other of her paintings. I grew up next door to Nell, my aunt, my mother's sister, so I was in her studio all the time. And my Aunt Carol, my cousin Pat, Tricia Adler, just sent me one of Carol's creations. Carol and Nell are both dead. And this has got Japanese writing on it, and it's a light little basket, just perfect. And beautiful, and when I hold it, I hold Carol. I can feel her hands around this, because I watched her hands. She had interesting, beautiful hands and lacquered nails, and would make things carefully. And my Nell would make these mosaic things. So she inspired me with laying down, making bird baths and things out of carnelians from Lake Tahoe and little rocks, and creating these beautiful mosaics. What we're looking at here is the flood of Isaias, a tropical storm this summer that put 1.5 feet of water in our basement. I'll come back to Isaias later. Because of that, this was re-landscaped. We had to change gutters, we had to reshape the landscape and build up another course so the water wasn't running down. So there's a new course of cinder block. And my neighbor Ethan, who worked on this project, said, "Tom, why don't you do a mosaic there?" We are installing the mosaic today, thanks to my good friend, the cameraman here and head of Wonky Eyed Productions, Bill Bryan. What we're going to do is lay in 3 pieces of tile work that I have created.
me what we're looking at here, dude.
Well, we're looking at a snaky kind of thing made by Echo, although the plate originally said Hecho in Mexico, but this is what's left, Echo, that's the signature. And there's lots of little things, so the idea was to run this, just lay that out. And I built forms for these pieces, for the tile board. And then after that, I could take sections of things like, and use my little thematic stuff. Pretty much that's it, as I sort of felt it. Now I want to tie in that tiling that we saw down at the basement area with this piece. If you would, Mr. Cameraman, swing around and catch Isaias here, or Isaias. Because of the rain from the hurricane or the tropical storm called Isaias, or I don't know how you say it. Do you know how you say it? I think it's Isaias. They put a Isaias, something like that. Anyway, Magpie Tail Boy. So these are pieces of ikebana which Kristen made. And they're little vases, Japanese vases, and you put a metal frog in it, and then you stick flowers in the center here. So anyway, Isaiah floods out our basement, 1.5 foot of water, and a lot of her stuff's floating in the middle of this water and broken. So she hands me a bag, says here, and I don't know if she meant just throw it out or what. So I looked at it, and there were these shards. So out of the shards came Magpie Tail Boy Isaias. And this, by the way, is a Indian incense holder. A very nice piece. So this piece was meant to be outdoors. Is meant to be outdoors. I made it actually for Betty and Fletch, and they moved out of the area and they were loaded up, and no way they were going to take this. So I'm holding it. Now you know, Betty and Fletch. This is for you, baby. One day. So there's a whole story of Magpie Tail Boy that our teacher, Joseph Rael, Beautiful Painted Arrow, tells. In any case, I honor Magpie Tail Boy, and there's a rainbow in the story, and the rainbow seemed like, oh, that's a nice touch. And voila.
Unexpectedly, as Vasero, the armless ambidextrian, was lighting a match between his great and second toe, and Ralph the lion was engaged in biting the neck of Madame Sussman, while the drum pointed and Teeny was about to cough in waltz time, swinging Jocko by the thumb, quite unexpectedly, the top blew off. And there in the starless wonder, the poise, the hover, there with vast wings across the canceled skies, was the black pall of nothing, 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 nothing at all.